it that way? All right, I should be live now. Should be. Do ants. All right. So looks like people are connected. Hope everybody can hear me. But there. Hey, Brandon. So I'm still having issues with Streamlabs. I don't know why I hit Go Lab on Streamlabs and I have to go into YouTube Studio and hit Go Live. I don't know what they changed. I'm guessing my key changed or something. I don't know. But it's really annoying. It's super annoying, actually. So, oh. Aaron, what's up? What's up, Gunner? Yeah. So you guys saw the picture. This thing is still giving me issues, and I'm having a really hard time figuring out what the problem is now. I've tried printing cooler. I've tried printing hotter. Still having issues. It might have, Brandon. I'm not 100% sure, so I did not have any time today to troubleshoot it and try to figure that out. So here we are. I am going to throw on, I think I'm going to go ahead and slice a PETG benchy and see if PETG gives me the same issue. Download filament, PETG. I don't know if my fan is turning off maybe at some point, and that's why I'm getting, I'm failing at the same spot. So this is where you can see the under extrusion happens, and then here it has under extrusion as well at that exact same place, and that's pretty much where it dies at. I had under extrusion, but it carried through here, and this one was random under extrusion. This one I've not tried this bronze silk PLA again. So, and then this one again. This was last night's under extrusion. This was this morning's, and I did accidentally print it too hot, but it here. There are no under extrusion lines on the print. So you can see there's no under extrusions in it. You can see it's too hot there and the front there. But no under extrusion, which is good. And again, same with this one. There's no under extrusions in the print. Oh my god, why does this thing suck lately at focusing? It's black. It's really hard to see, but you can see the start stops, but there's no under extrusions in there, which is good to see. But it's still not working right. Gunner, I don't get it. Sorry, I'm out of it here. Should be. Okay, pull that out. I'm gonna pull out that roll of PETG that you sent me, Aaron. We're gonna try that out. But I need to slice a PETG benchy because I don't have one on the SD card for it. I never remember to level my bed. Sorry. Ooh, that's a nice blue, eh? Like that. Never heard of this brand before. So this is Darmonic 3D. And this is a PETG here. Nice blue. Nice. Put this down here. And gunner, my age doesn't bother me. It's when people say that I look young is when it annoys me. Snips. Cut that. Shouldn't be the part cooling fan shouldn't, or the hot end fan shouldn't be having any issues, because I've already printed a bunch of stuff with this printer and haven't had issues with really crap filament. Again, I was printing with Maker Geeks for a while, and that was not having any problems. So let me here switch to here. Bring up Fuchsia slicer. What's up, Fortnite? So we're going to the new BLV profile, and I need to make a filament settings. We need to change this up. So we don't want it always on. We want min is going to be 0. Max will be, we'll call that 40. Okay, and then filament type is PT. DTG. I want a different color, like that. Okay. We also need to slow this down, I think, a little bit. So we're going to go 65 infill with 50 solid infill. Let's take this down to 45. Port material 45. Bridges 50. All this. PDG slow. Get a I keep doing the benchy. I don't know if I should pick something different. Do a cube, but at least the benchy will show me things. Test stuff. 3D benchy. So I need to re-export this repaired. Four-wall silk PLA. Silk, normally you have to print hotter. I would say 215 or 220 is what I've usually had for silk. Usually makes it work. Okay, that's repaired. Cheat again, do it at 150. It's easier to see everything. Fourth, that's how this all looks. That should be fine. It's out. We'll call this PTG benchy. I know, Jim. I scale because it's easier to see. Easier to see the issues on the bigger benchy. PTG benchy. Okay. So should be good to go. We'll see how this filament holds up for us. There we go. I know. I didn't get a drink. Dang it. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick while this thing heats up. It's gonna take a second to get up to temperature. I brought my electric fly swatter because there's a flying ants again running around tonight, and they are fucking me. Or there's a string on the back of my shirt. One or the other. There's one in here that is ticking me off. Where he is. There you are. Get off my monitor. Gotcha. Now I do have that other silk pele still in the dehydrator running right now, so that thing is dry. But I think in the meantime, I think Aaron said it, I'm going to throw... Yeah, let's do it on the Mark III's. I'm going to go ahead and get this heated up, and I want to throw that green filament on here. Although since the black did the same thing, I'm thinking it really is. So let's do unload PNTG. The last thing I printed on this. It's still currently loaded. So I printed the BLV parts on here. For the yellow ones, the black parts I printed on Megatron. Aaron, no, Pepsi, still not sponsored yet. Oh, Aaron, yeah, you only have a wife. I have 5 girls in the house, and it is always there it is. There's one of the females in my family's hair that was on the back of my shirt there. Imagine what I could do with Pepsi money if they sponsored my channel. That's what I'm doing right now, Aaron. I'm getting it warmed up, get that PTG out of it, and then I'll put the green filament on the Mark III's, see how it goes on that printer. I'd make a Pepsi printer with as much money as they'd give me. This green. Snip off some because it did. So the green actually jammed. Where the black you saw, I had some under extrusion long enough for it to fail. The green just flat out jammed in the printer. Load filament. So there was a difference in the type of failure, and then that bronze silk was randomly under extruding, and I stopped that test early. If they give me a supply and monies to do stuff, then I'm all for it. Do I have, if we go to print from SD, oh, I have a Benchy already sliced on here. We're going to go ahead and print that. So the only thing I'm thinking is that the fan I'm using on here, I believe, is the quieter fan of the two that I have. I do have some 24-volt fans, which I could throw one on there. I don't want to, though, because I already have a 12-volt there. But if I go here to the fans, I have some, these are all sun-ons. So this is a 0.43 watt here. And then the other drawer, thought I had some 0.7 watt ones. Yeah, I have a 0.72 watt one right here that came off of another printer I was working on. And those are the two different versions of sun-ons that I have. I really can't remember what's on this printer. How's that going down? Is that going down okay? It's extruding. Just let that run. What was I getting at there? Fan. Can't tell unless I take this assembly off. So we'll run this print and see how it goes. I did re-upload my firmware, so I have all the new values that we kind of got to on last night's stream with the new sensorless homing threshold was down from 84 to 80. XY stealth chop is off, and the third thing I changed, my Z offset I now saved, so it's doing a little better for that. I mean, it could be heat creep. It's just, I mean, it's happening to everything. If it happens again to anything else, I'm going to go ahead and load back on the Maker Geeks filament and see, because I have a ton of stuff in here that's fine. I mean, I have other benchies printed in other filaments on this printer that are just fine. I have a ton of them. So I don't know why I'm suddenly getting heat creep when it's fine before, and I know that fan is running. I just don't know why it's doing it now when it wasn't before. I didn't change anything with the extruder. I mean, I don't know if the extruder's overheating maybe now. There was one comment that someone made on one of my streams was when I put this back plate on, someone did say that it might overheat the extruder motor. Now I am using a pancake stepper to try and make the gantry a little bit lighter. This thing is so rigidly built and so robust. The weight of a 40 millimeter stepper versus a 32 millimeter stepper, not that big of a deal, to be honest, because it can move it regardless of the size of the stepper. I just wanted to cut down some weight, and I had a pancake laying around. So, yeah, Aaron, everything I've printed on this is PLA. This is going to be the first PETG print I put down on here. So actually, once I should have did that first. Let me grab a glue stick because I don't want to fuse to the sheet. do that real quick and have an interference layer because I don't want to ruin this sheet any more than I already did. Yeah, I was really hoping to have like some completed prints to show everybody, but like did not happen at all. They're printing this at, looks like 235 is what I set it to. I don't know what you normally print it at, Aaron. What's on the box? Does it give me any suggested temperatures? Is it on the spool? 240 plus or minus 10C. These fat first layers just look so good. Like when it's doing the text, it looks so good. And for anybody that's curious on why I did the glue stick, so PETG, because it's printed at such a hot temperature, will fuse to PEI and completely wreck it. I'll use Joel as an example. Also, if you print PETG on bare glass, it can fuse, and it will fuse that bare glass, and you will just shred glass mirror, whatever you're using, we'll just shred it. So if you don't have a build surface that's specifically made for PETGs, which would be a textured PEI. This other side is textured PEI. I have not tested it yet though, but it is textured PEI. The other side, that is made for PETG. But if it's a flat surface, it will never let go. If it does, it's going to probably take it with it, or you're going to get lucky. But that textured surface, as it cools, makes space so that the PETG can release from the build surface. That's why the ultra base or super plate or GTEX ultra plate is really good for PETG, because that graph on there, as it cools down and shrinks, it just pops that print right off without damaging it too badly, or really at all, I guess. So PETG is 240. Yeah. So I'm doing this is let's up this a little bit. Tune nozzle. Day or two now. Set that fan as a max of 30, so it's really quiet now. Because 5015s, especially this is a cheap 5015 that came with the kit, it really blows out a lot of air, and it's very loud when it does so. So, I didn't change the bridging. So bridging, it goes to 100%. I should have changed that. It does make nice holes in build tack. Yeah, build tack is so not for this. You can do this. But I think if it's thermal runaway, or not thermal runaway, but heat creep. See what the hot in here looks like, and it is ice cold up there. Absolutely ice cold. See the heat of the nozzle there. That's about it. Motor is rather toasty though. To be right around 40C at the core of the motor there. But that heat break in there is still cool as a cucumber. Just busted off the build plate there. Sorry, what? Okay. Does she need a cable? It's not here. I don't know what you did with it. So I kind of forgot this is PLA. PLA does not stick so well to the textured Prusa seat. So let me swap this out for the PEI coated sheet. We'll go from there. One of those. There's one. Great. Here? Nope. That's the Build Tack one. Where's my other sheets at? Where's my other build sheets at for the Prusa? There's a textured one there, textured one there. Oh, these prints are sitting on it. But I have another one somewhere. Where's the other smooth sheet at? Gecko Tech one. We can do Gecko Tech. So do that, and then change my sheet to Gecko. Now I can go to, let's see, print from SD. Find that 3D Benchy again. Heating up, and that will be good to go. I'm hearing some slipping every now and then. So that does make me wonder if I should change up the volumetric flow in Prusa Slicer. I don't have it set. I have it set to 0, so Prusa Slicer automatically does it. So, oh, hey Dan, how you doing, man? Yeah, I'll check again in a few, Aaron. Gunner, it's a fluke. Oh, I've had it around for a while. Jesse PLA says, let's turn this up just a little bit. So it's on layer 2. Hopefully that sticks better now on that sheet. But no. Ask your mother. Yeah, I did get a little sidetracked. I was watching Joel's stream a little bit. I'm curious to see if he's actually going to get it to work or not. The belt, as we've kind of been talking, is a it's a very niche printer. It has its place. It is definitely not for everyone, and I've said it before. I think a lot of people are going to be really, really disappointed with that machine because even shoot, what's his name? Knack. I forget his real name, but he's even said that like models have to be designed for that printer to print at that angle because they're all meant to be printed bottom to top, not on an angle. So he's definitely mentioned that there are limitations to it if you're not kind of prepared for what it entails. I am also kind of wondering if the issue could be partly the extruder's fault, because again, it is a super cheap, no idea where Blue Rose got this BMG from. So let's check. Where's that? Where did I put the thing at? Oh, I put it over here. Check this again. See how it's doing. Must step out there. Carl, that's it. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so that motor is getting super hot. But still, I mean, I'm seeing like no heat on I mean, I can see just the back end of the I do see a little bit of heat in there now. Looks like it's 40. I wonder if I can stick my finger in there and feel it. Just where your IR probe at? Right here. I think it's like 35 back there. That motor is hot. Where do I have this voltage on that set to? Configuration, advanced, PMC. I have E at 800. If that's just getting too hot. I mean, it's hot. It's not real hot. It's not Prusa extruder hot. Here. Right there, completely stalled there for a hot second. I need to actually up the voltage because I actually could just hold it. If I put my finger on that gear, I can actually stop the extruder motor. It skips. That's not right. Maybe it is the motor. Maybe it was a bad choice of mine to put that on here for some reason. But again, why did it print everything else so well and now we're having issues? Don't really get it. Yeah, like I can stop that from extruding and make it skip. That really shouldn't be happening. I mean, it doesn't seem to be too tight. It's like just tight enough, but still, the fact that I can, the fact that I can just put my finger on that larger gear and stop it doesn't seem right to me. I shouldn't be able to do that, right? Cracking and going on in there. Again, this is where we started having issues. So we started the base layer of the box in the back of the benchy. So this back layer right there, we just did the first layer. So we're about to do layer 2 on it now. PLA, this is where we started to see issues. Again, I can already tell there's a little bit of an issue just because of I'm able to do that. It's not belt slip, it's the gear slip. I mean, I just turned it up to 0.85. And we put it to 0.9. Okay, 1.1 is now hard to stop it. That's really high for an extruder, isn't it? Maybe it's the crappy pancake that I'm using. Maybe I should throw the normal sized motor on there. Go check on the green. These are coming out just fine so far. It's on the first layer of the back box, so it's catching up to this one pretty quickly. It'll bypass that one, this one pretty quick. The only under extrusions I'm noticing is where I was actually able to stop the gear, but now at 1.1, I can still stop it a little bit. Maybe I need to swap that motor out. I have no idea what it is, Jim. I don't even think it has a label on it. I got it in some Triangle Labs kit like 3 years ago. I honestly have no idea what it is. I said IHOP or Denny's. I'm gonna go with Denny's. I can still stop it. It's really hard to stop it. I can still stop it though. Yeah, about 45. Let's see if we can see with this sucker. I'm seeing like 70 on this pancake stepper. Here, still not seeing anything back there. Shows me it's too hot. So it looks to be about 40 back in there. I'm wondering, so if I go into, let's just go to the Prusa, and then I look at Prusa PETG quality. It has an 8 millimeters a second volumetric flow. Change that to 8, see if that does anything. It's a strange deal. Yeah, it is just behind this one, so it's doing the first layer of the deck now on the Mark 3S with that green, still going strong. So it's either got to be the extruder or it's got to be, ouch. That is really, really hot now. Maybe I should put the regular motor up there. Where's that motor at? It should be right in here. I can put the motor that it came with on there. I think it should be in here. Yeah, here it is. And it's a regular 40 millimeter. I'm pretty sure it is. 42. No, it's a 40 mil. But yeah, that thing is toasty. Really toasty. I'm gonna stop this here. And yeah, I think we'll go ahead and swip this out. Stop now. Switch it, switch it. All right, we're switching it. We're switching it. Do 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 do. Move it out of the way. I'm also going to go ahead and check what fan I'm using in here, whether I'm using the low power or the higher power one. If it's the low power one, I might swap it out, but I really want to get in here and see what the temperature of that heatsink is right now. This is the 0.43. Man, that is warm. So it very well could be heat creep. So let's also swap out this fan while I'm at it. Which means I have to snip this entire cable chain out. Which is going to be a little on the annoying side. I'll have to rerun this whole cable. Because the motors that came with the printer have integrated wires, where the stepper I put on there does not have integrated stepper wires. So peel this all off. Anyways, I'm going to get my shoulder workout for the night because this thing is so doggone tall. Okay. That's off. That's that fan. Where's this fan at? Oh, it's soldered right there. Okay. $16 tonight, Gunner. That's all right. Everyone's off watching Joel stream. When you end up streaming on the same night as one of the top 5 3D printing channels, you know, you're bound to run in some competition. And that's okay. This whole thing is toasty. Very toasty. So ouch. Not hot. I'm probably going to put in different screws because holy cow, man. I don't know if these screws will work to go through the back plate that I created there as well. Seem to have that much play. Dan. Here's that. Need to take off this here, which is tiny. I think it's a 1.5. Yeah, it's not a 2. 2, 5. Nope, can't do that. I need a normal Allen wrench. I thought I kept a little one here somewhere. With this. It's right here, I think. 2 mil. Oh, here we go. Okay. Get that off. Get that hot sucker out of the way. Here. Okay. Put that on there. Let's see if this back plate will attach with these screws. Maybe it will. Nope, they are too short. Made my holes too tight. That's why I designed it, and I didn't drill them out. Of course I didn't. All of this fit into my holes here. Man, I need to drill those out real quick. See if I can do it by hand, maybe. 3 mil right here. These should work out, I think. One more. That one comes out easily enough. And then we're going to do with that drill bit. All these a quick turn. That one says, no, thank you, sir. So switch bits to a Phillips. Fit in these? Yes, it does. Hot dog. We go this way. Oh, these are not long enough. Thought they would have been, dang it. Get out my Boxo M3s, long ones here. These ones are, that's pretty long. The ones in there are 30s, so I'll try some 35 millimeter ones, see if that works out any better for me. So 4. Let's test 1 in here first. Let's see if it will grab on. Oh, yep, 35s work. Okay, good deal. Okay, so we've got the new motor on there now with the back plate attached, which has a piece of nylon in it, which helps keep all of this stuff in line. So we can go ahead and get that positioned there. We'll have to probably do this a different way, I think, but either way, let's get the Bond Tech. Right here. So this is a direct drive, but it's not quite direct drive. So as you can see here, come on. There's a bit of PTFE tube that runs from the extruder down to the hot end. So it's, again, not quite direct drive. I'm going to get some water on my sponge here for the soldering iron. I'm going to go ahead and replace this fan since I already have all this apart. There, right there. I already have all this apart, so I might as well do the work now. The guy right here, so let's cut this cable tie. Point is right there. So I need to get some heat shrink tubing out. Need to get, it's been years since I bought heat shrink tubing. I'm gonna need to buy some here soon. Boy. Heat shrink tubing or not. Do it. Not what I want to do, but okay. Where'd the black one go? There it is. That one. Solder. There it is. That real quick. So I'll show you guys one of these motors here in a second. In my opinion, Sun-On fans are the best. I'm using this 0.4 on other machines, but maybe because this is just running a little bit hotter, it's a little different. Wait, no, that's a 0.4. Where's the other one at? Where's that 0.7? There it is. Yeah, so it's a Sun-On maglev. Come on. Right there, 12 volt, 0.72 watts. So this is the A99. If you look up the maglevs and you find some, the A99 is the one you want. A little more powerful. And I think the other one is the G99. Oh no, this is the MF A99. The other one is the HA. So it's just the different types that DigiKey has. I think I've linked them in other streams. But I buy them quite a few at a time now to have on hand when I need it for things like this. Would be pretty quick and easy. So our heat shrink on here. One, two. Heat shrink, so I need to keep this really in line. Red here. Up there. And sweet. Okay. And then where did black go? Right here. Connection. Pull this heat shrink tubing up. Very good. I need some heat. These are pretty much, Dan, these are pretty much the community fans of choice. At least from everybody that I've talked to and heard from and whatnot. They seem to be the best that everyone recommends. Let me get this soldering iron out of the way so I don't burn myself. These screws here, like this. I'm also, as most people know, I'm cheap. And these fans are not terribly expensive. I think if you order a couple, they come down to like $4 a piece, which I think is pretty reasonable for a fan. One of these might be $6. I don't really remember though. Okay, so we've got our fan in there now. I can go ahead and put on this front shroud now. Again, make sure your fan is the right way so it's blowing in there. Front shroud here. There we go. There, there. Okay, we're gonna come up here. Forward probe. Go like that there. Is that cable comfortable there or not? I'm going to take the cable that way before. Let's take the cable down here this time. Just got to make sure I'm not pinching. That's better right there. That's good right there. Perfect. You don't want to pinch your cables because that will definitely fatigue them way faster than they already will get fatigued. Okay. This here. Okay. That is on there and it's secure. This also, those bolts also act as holding this extruder on. If I take those out, I can actually pop this entire top assembly off, which is really nice. Actually, no, there's one more screw in there. If I take out the motor, there's one more screw that goes straight down into the assembly, but there's 3 bolts that hold that on. It's on there very securely. I need my big old bag of zip ties. Only zip tying this part right here because I know all of this is in the right place right now. Like that. So right there, all those cables are managed and out of the way. Perfect. So now let's get this motor cable did, and yeah, that's going to be nowhere near long enough, so we're going to need to extend this cable here. Get my bag o' cables. They're saying, good dab a little liquid electric tape, silicone on the spot where the wires comes out of the fans. Oh yeah. Hot glue works. But again, what I do here is that it's taunt here, but it's not taunt going to the fan. So I'm making sure to not pull tight on there. If I would be pulling tight on there, which I have done that before on other printers and I've had that fail, but I try and keep like a service type loop bit in there. So, okay, so I've got a length of cable here. So I'm just going to add this on, which will give me plenty of length here. So I'm just going to snip off that connector and get my wire strippers out since we're going to have to do this a few times and probably going to need the helping hand. I was not expecting to do wiring and soldering tonight, which means I have to turn the soldering iron back on. And I've got over here, which means I need to get down the JST kit. It's 4 wires prepped. It's that's using the mini JST. I'm going to take that off just so I can keep it. And there. Now we need to strip these 4 wires. Tin all of these. Great. Okay. Could have soldered the female JST to the new motor. I could have, I guess, but whatevs. We'll make this work. It's just funny that this cable is so short in the kit, you have to do this regardless. Because there's no way to get from there to there without soldering on to this cable. Like, there's no extension in the box, at least that I saw. This is fine though. I'll make it work. Where's solder at? Okay. I need shrink tubing again. I can put those on afterwards because there's no end on these yet. So I'm just going to extend these color to color. Keep it easy and simple. And blue. Heat shrink tubing. And then we can get a JST onto the end of this. Solder seal. All right, Jim. I'm very old school with my soldering. Again, don't do what I do. I am not an electrician. I am not teaching anyone how to solder or to do what I do. Sticking out part a little too much. That's more better. Yep, that side's on there. And now I can go ahead and okay. That part done. Now to get the JST added onto here. So Need to reach down the JST kit. Oh, come here. Is that a connector? I'll have to look those up later, Jim. Kind of stream's already gone a little bit longer than I kind of wanted tonight. Yeah, JST crimping is by far the worst of the crimps. DuPonts are pretty nice and easy. And the Mark 3S is still rolling just fine over there. So need a 4-pin. Strip these down. I'm ready for someone to invent new connectors for 3D printers. So I need to get the brainiacs out there to work on it. I would love to have something other than JSTs. Got to be something out there that's easier to use. Or easier to freaking attach. One. We get number 2. Okay, 3. Yeah, but it's also that not every printer has the same, or not every board has the same standard for connectors, because the NZ board has their type, the Duet has their type, and then everybody else uses standard JSTs. Last one. Night. Nope. Knocked it off. Heavens forbid I go 4 for 4. Hey. All right, now for the rest of these, we're looking at the connector on the outside, red, green, yellow, black. Connector goes in this way. Red. Okay. So now we can go ahead and try to feed this through here. Don't know how that's going to go because the way I have this kind of locked down now. Oh, I think I can do it. Just getting this old one out is going to be tough. Please don't break the other part. There we go. Pull that out. Drop that down. New one. And here. Oh, that's not even locked in right now. Look at that. I thought that was attached. It is not. Let me fix that real quick. I have a guard back here. Kind of protects all the cabling. It also kind of seals the print area from the electronic area, which I do like. Okay, pull this through. Over here. Well, that came out. Someone's hit me up. Who's hitting me up? I'm going to feel bad if it doesn't fix it. You, me, and both. Who is that? Oh. See if she wants help. Where are we at now? I need to get some. Well, just to do some preliminary tests. This needs to come here like this. And then I just need to get these cables up and out so don't come the twist ties. I don't want to waste any zip ties on this. I'm going to run upstairs real quick. I'll be right back. 1 second, guys. talking to my wife, I was like, I hope I muted for all that conversation. Oh man. Okay, so now that that's all done, we gotta do a couple things. We need to turn on. I need to verify that the motor is turning in the right direction. So I think we can finally move this soldering iron out of the way again. Need to reheat the nozzle real quick. And I got stuck in there good. And even right here, man, that PETG stuck. Or I didn't put down any glue stick here. Easy there. Yeah, so I'll show you this. So aside from where let's see. So aside from where I stopped the, glue anymore? Okay. So you can see that one under extrusion line, that's where I stopped it. But other than that, that extrusion is super consistent. And that is really good. But again, you can see that's where I was kind of messing with the wheel and I was able to stop the motor. Other than that, looks really good. First layer looks nice too. First layer on there too. So now it's up to temperature. We can go do motion. We're going to move axis, extruder. All right, it's just jittering. So we need to swap the, what are we going to on the other ones here that I have those jump to? So red is black. Black is green. So black, green, red, blue. Let's try black, green, red, blue. Turn this off. It's out. Let's change it up. Just give me 1 second here. So that back out. The connector goes in this way. We're going to do black, green, red, and blue. I think it's not the best, but should still work. Okay. Well, let's see if it'll work here. the heat up per second. .170 is the cold extrusion temperature, so we are at 170 now. Okay. So motion, move axis, extruder, 1 mil. All right, we're going backwards. So I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to just go ahead and switch it in firmware because I don't want to muck with the wiring anymore. And now that I know it at least goes in the wrong direction, I can quickly fix that in firmware. So let's power this down. My SD card, and we'll go to there. So here. False. Diant. Got it. Okay, that should work out for there. Build this. Already have it open here. Just gonna wait for that to compile real quick, and we can make that work out. Is just real quick while we're waiting. Going on Discord. How's Joel? Anybody watching Joel's stream as well? How's his print mill going? Okay, that finished. So now I just need to copy the firmware.bin. Did that copy? Copy. There we go. And let's put that onto here. We're going to delete the .old. We're going to make .current .old. Paste that onto there. Easy day. Okay. Bring up, where's Streamlab? There it is. Okay. Printing at a 45-degree angle. Meh. I mean, I'm not expecting like insane print quality off of it. I mean, number one, it is a Creality, and number two, it's the first commercial version of that. Well, I guess it's not the first commercial version of that printer, but close enough, I guess. Oops, where'd that move? Don't move. Okay, there we go. So extrusion issues, printing a decent print. So we need to do real quick. I'm going to start like that. We got configuration, advanced, EEPROM going. And then let's just double check my PMC drivers. Almost at temperature. And I can try to make sure. We're just gonna make sure the extruder moves in the right direction. And then we could probably test again. I mean, so can you buy that printer yet, or does he still have a pre-production unit? He already has the port question mark? Huh? Okay, let's see. Motion, move axis, extruder, 1 mil. Going the right direction. All right. That's what I wanted to see. Easy day. Okay, now before I rebundle all of this in the cable sleeving, I'm going to, I think we're going to go ahead and go with a test print here. Just kind of to reaffirm that things are going the way they should be going and that I'm happy with it. So I guess I should throw the PLA back on, right? So, oh, okay, so it's pre-production. It's going to be another Kickstarter, less than $1,000, fully open source. Brandon, I think you'll see a clone sooner than that, buddy. I really do. I want to put PLA back on this to see if we hit any issues. So we're going to throw the black, because that green is printing out just fine on the Mark III's. It's at 76% right now. Things be going just fine. So I can rule out it's not a filament issue. It is this printer issue. So let's get this black loaded on here again. G out of the nozzle there. Oh shit, I broke it. Pushing the filament in too hard. Try this again. I'll try to be a little more gentle this time. Okay, so let's go ahead and print for media and do a regular benchy. See how it goes. Well, Gunnar, so the print mill is a clone of those DIY printers that are already out there, like the White Knight and the Black Belt. I still has Crowdy solved the whole patent issue with black belts? Because I think that's the issue. Is that they're going to hit the patent. If they actually do try to sell this, black belt will have the Stratus has the patent on that type of printing at that angle. I think it's the angle is the big thing, which I think the White Knight prints at 30, and the Creality is printing at 45. Because I remember Carl saying something about the angle, something like that. Can't remember the conversation right now, but kind of wondering where they're at on that. I gotta wait for this bed to heat up for a second. So the 45-degree angle bypasses the patent. So is the patent for 30 degrees then? I thought that was somewhere in the issue. But it's kind of funny that just changing the angle can bypass a patent, because everything else is identical to the other printer. It's just a different angle. Jim, did you see the video of that guy that made the mini belt mod? It's pretty cool. The black belt doesn't print at 90. I could have swore it was for 30. I said it was 30 or 45. It was one or the other. Take a look how this guy's doing over here. Coming out just like I would expect it to come out on a Mark III's. Really well. So I'm going to change the bed temperature real quick to 50. And then once we get moving, I'll change it up to 60. I won't need 50's fine because I already have glue stick on this. It has to be cleaned off, but that'll still make it print okay. And while we wait for that, I'm going to clean up a little bit because I am trying to be more efficient in the things I'm working on. I really took it to heart when I was watching the Martin's Winter Garden Wednesday, when he did a full video on just trying to stay organized and what he was doing to try and combat the issues with productivity and whatnot. And he reorganized his entire makerspace, both his studio and where he has like his CNC mill and stuff like that. And now, as soon as he finishes something, he immediately puts the tools away, which I really do like. I can kind of relate to the need to do that. And especially with my limited space, I don't have like, you got people like Tim at TH3D who has like a soldering station in his office, which is awesome. It's a 1.59 watt fan. Now this fan is definitely louder. It's a lot louder. That new power supply fan I put in there is still working. That old one was just junk. It came in the power supply. So now for this little guy, I need to figure out what size bolts to put in this thing to hold it together. Obviously these are too long as the whole friggin' thing. So let's put these long ones away.
These work. These are 14s. I'd rather use 12s. I left the 12s. Nope, 12 don't reach. 14s. Don't reach. 16s. 16s reach. Okay, we'll use 16 millimeter then. Lots of them. MakerBot has the patent, not Stress. Okay, MakerBot. Couldn't remember who exactly had it. I just knew there was a patent out there that a lot of people were talking about, and I didn't know if they were going to run into the actual issue when they went to sell or not. Because that had kind of been the talk of the town for a little while there. $215. Down. What did I pick? Oh, I picked the cylinder. Stop that. That's not the right print. Derp. Print. Benchy. There we go. Try that again. Striking out here a couple times now. Stratus owns MakerBot. Well, companies that don't do anything, they still only make like the insanely expensive printers. Stratus. So let's see. So to summarize, for anybody who's just joining now, I'm hoping that swapping to the full-size standard 40 millimeter extruder motor and putting a more powerful hot end fan is going to solve the issues I'm seeing here. We shall see. As you can see, I did upgrade this to a 5x5 grid. So that was one of the things that I wanted to change. Do I have this the other way around? Don't. Let's do that one, I guess. Or we can just go here, I guess. You guys can see it in action here. Well, I did change it to the 5x5 grid, which I talked about yesterday. Went ahead and did that since I reloaded the firmware today, and that seemed to work out pretty good. Heating up now to 215. So 230 was fine for the Maker Geeks because that normally wants you to print at 225. But for this stuff, it seems to be a little too hot, get a little too much drooping in there. All right, we're up to the top of the cabin now. Getting ready to start on the upper roof portion of it here shortly. $90C, almost there. There we go. Let's see how that first layer looks. Is that too close? Pretty good so far. Just close enough. Let me get just a little bit closer. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So I have the stepper is set to 1. Yeah, I think it's set to 1 instead of the 800. To 5015 fan is screaming now. can't stop it this time, so that's good. We'll make the nozzle just a smidgen hotter. We'll go to 218. Another thing you can tell is when you're looking at filament when it's being extruded, if it looks matte, that might be that it is too cold. If it's really, really shiny, it could be that you're too hot. Yeah, Aaron, I can't, ouch. I can't stop that at all. So at these speeds, like I said, we're up to from 215 was a little, sounded a little, listening also to the motor, not the motor, but the extruder. I'm listening if it's clicking at all or anything like that. If it's having any issues pushing that filament out at this speed. This is nothing crazy speed. This infill is 80 millimeters a second. So yeah, we're not doing anything too crazy, but I mean, fast enough. I can hear it again there a little bit. So we're going to go from 218 up to 220. But again, this is also 80 millimeters a second with a 0.6 millimeter nozzle, so it's not a standard 0.4. So you're moving a lot, you need to move out a lot more plastic than any other time. These perimeters are also 80 millimeters a second, and the outside perimeter is 60 millimeters a second. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. I'm doing gyroid infill on this one. I was hoping it's not the throat, but this is a genuine E3D hot end. So the heater block, the thermistor, the heater, the nozzle, the throat, the heat sink is all E3D. So I'm not expecting to have any weird issues because of that. I've had that on other printers like the Hypercube. Kind of got bit by a cheap all metal hot end again, or all metal throat. So yeah, okay, this is the volcano on here. This is going to be one of my speedy printers. This and the Artillery X1 are the two printers that I have a 0.6 millimeter nozzle on. I'm interested to see how warm this motor gets, if at all, at the one volt, I guess, 1,000 milliamps, millivolts, whatever it is, millivolts. Still hear the extruder every now and then a little bit. Also watching the gear, watching the movements, how it's laying down the plastic, seeing how the plastic looks when it's being put down. It's nice and shiny now. 115 was a little bit matte. We're a little shinier at 220 now, so I think that is better. But whenever you're building, more custom printers like this or whatever you're working on, you kind of got to make sure you pay attention to all those details. Again, figuring out the motor was slipping, temperature of the motor, temperature of your heatsink, temperature of your hot end, how the filament looks when it's being laid down, the speed of your fan. These are, fairly normal things, but when you get a printer off the shelf, a lot of these more build-centric concerns don't exist. Unless you have a printer that doesn't work out of the box, but that's a different story. Vince, there he is. What's up, man? I'm seeing a little bit of curling on this one corner here where the outside Z seam is lined at. I'm seeing some curling in that corner, which generally means it's a little too hot. So let's go drop back down. I wasn't seeing that at 215. At 220, it seems I'm seeing that. The front doesn't seem to be curling very much. Still looking pretty good there. We're going to take a look at it. That's still looking pretty sweet. I don't know, everybody. I'm pretty optimistic that I kind of solved the issue. I'm optimistic. I'm not saying it's gonna work, but I have a feeling it's a step in the right direction at least. These layers are thick, man. Let's look at these other prints here. Jim, no, this is technically my third volcano. All right, the green goo finished. Show you guys this off the Mark 3S. So here is that green print, that green filament from let's call it Jesse PLA. A little bit of cooling issue on there though. Overall, not horrible. Not the best bench you've ever gone off. There's some inconsistent issues in here for some reason. Don't know why that's happening. But in looking at it, you honestly can't tell that. It really shows on camera though. You can really see those inconsistencies on camera. But in person, I really can't see those. Unless I tilt this at like a weird angle with the light, kind of like this, I can see it, but not bad. But it does work. That's kind of the point of that. So Jim, I always found, so you're saying go down in temperature. I found that you have to go up in temperature because of the speeds that you're normally printing out with a volcano, because you wanted to have thick layers coming out fast. And I mean, I do 230 PLA on the Artillery X1 with no issues whatsoever, like literally nothing. Yeah, I'm not putting dual 5015s on the Mark 3S. That's not gonna happen. Here's where we were having issues before. So we're starting the first solid layer of the box in the back of the boat. So I'm going to let this go a little bit longer, and I think we'll call it a night. I want to make sure we get through this part, which is where I've had under extrusion issues on the other prints. Two is good. See how layer 3 goes down. That final top layer is slow boat. Super slow boat. Has the motor and the heatsink. So motor is still touchable. Let's pull out where's the thermal camera at here? Motor's sitting at 35. I mean, it's warm to the touch, just kind of barely. See really nothing on the heatsink. Maybe in the high 30s. It's really hard to differentiate it. Sensor's really no good at helping me at all. And the IR is 32, yeah. So low 30s on the motor at 1. And that heatsink back in there, this IR is not really reading. It's between 30 and 40 on the heatsink, which I think is pretty normal for V6, 30 to 40. And I think my issue is a little bit of combined between a little bit of heat creep and the motor kind of just struggling with outputting the filament. So literally, Jim, you were asking, this motor literally has no marks on it whatsoever. This is a super cheap one. I believe this came in the Triangle Labs kit, but literally not a single mark on any of the specs of this motor. So clearly it's not great. This was intended for a Titan. I don't know how much that plays into a stepper on how hard it has to work with a Titan versus a BMG. I think BMG requires a little bit more oomph from the motor because it's dual drive, where the Titan can get away with a less powerful motor, less torque, and it just works. I don't know, it's pure speculation, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Blinding light! I love that light. I love that. If I do this, it just looks so good. So good. I wish I could zoom in more on that, though. Still seeing curling on this back corner there, though. One 1.4, 1.8, maybe, I guess. I don't know. Again, it's definitely nothing special. Yeah, so I think maybe I did fix it. Again, I don't want to jinx it, but I think I'm going to call it there. I'm going to let this thing print. I'm not going to hang out for the next hour while this thing finishes printing. I do not have that in me tonight. It's already been 2 hours on the stream. I wanted this to be kind of an hour, like, hey, let's talk about this and see if I can fix it. But clearly it required more changes than what I was expecting. So again, wrap up. I put a more powerful part cooling or more powerful heatsink fan here in the front, and we threw on a full-size stepper motor instead of this itty-bitty little pancake. And that's a 42 millimeter NEMA 17. This is a 24 millimeter NEMA 17. So very, very, very small pancake motor. And just didn't have the guts in it to kind of really get going on it. So I think we're good. I'll post pictures or my kind of results, afterthoughts in the Discord. If you guys not on the Discord, there's a link down below. You guys will hop on there. We talk about, again, this printer, anything I'm working on, other people's builds, CNC. If you need any help with your printer or firmware or something like that, we've got people who are great at troubleshooting various things. Some really good firmware peeps in there too. So they definitely can help you if you're trying to do a custom firmware or something. They've been super helpful for me and everybody else on there. So I would encourage everyone to come down there. It's a nice place to hang out and share what you're working on or learn from others. We're right at the first level of the full deck, just went down, doing the second layer of the full deck now. Looking pretty good. So I'm getting distracted watching all that. If you guys want to help out the channel, there's a Patreon link down below. Patrons have paid for this printer and are still paying for this printer. I thank all of them for helping me out. If you guys want to help me out, do crazy projects, you be like Jim and do super chats. Brandon, who sends me random things, or you can become a patron or use any of the links down below, the donation links or the affiliate links down there with discount codes for various things. And that money comes back here, and I put all the money 100% into the channel. I buy these printers, I buy upgrades for printers, I do everything because of everyone who's watching that helps me out. I appreciate all of you for doing what you do to watch, even if it is just to watch or you help out. Oh man, it looks so good. All right. I hope you guys have a good night. I'll be back again on Monday night. We'll see if I get any mail on Monday, if anything new comes in. I don't think I got anything. Nothing came in this week, so maybe Monday something will come in. We'll have something new to work on Monday night. Otherwise, we could talk about how this goes. I'll do some more prints with it, do some more testing, and we can kind of summarize on what's happening with all of that. Hope you guys have a good night. Wash your hands. Happy printing. I'll see you on Monday night.